In world news, India's moon rover begins lunar exploration. Meanwhile, Sarawak embarks on a carbon trading mission. And the state government is to study carbon emission taxation methods. These are the headlines for tonight. Good evening. You're now with me, Razi Ahmad, and this is TVS Nightline. India has etched its name in the annals of history when its moon rover, the Chandrayaan-3, exited the spacecraft on Thursday morning to begin its exploration of the lunar surface. India's moon mission touched down in a soft landing, becoming the first country to have landed on the lunar South Pole.
In a post on X, the Indian Space Research Organization ISRO said the rover has ramped down the lander and taking a walk on the moon. The Chandrayaan-3 also shared photographs of the lunar surface during its descent towards the moon's south pole on Wednesday. The landing of the Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft made India the fourth nation to successfully land a spacecraft on the moon after the United States, China, and Russia. The mission is seen as crucial to lunar exploration and India's standing as a space power, just days after a similar Russian lander crashed. The Chandrayaan-3 is expected to remain functional for 2 weeks, running a series of experiments including a spectrometer analysis of the mineral composition of the lunar surface. India's Chandrayaan-2 mission in 2019 failed as its Vikram lander crashed into the surface of the moon. The first Chandrayaan mission was launched in 2008.
In a significant move, Sarawak is embarking on a carbon trading mission that is set to be on par with similar endeavors undertaken by European countries. Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, who is currently on a week-long official visit to Europe, has announced that the Sarawak government is delving into international protocols concerning carbon trading. The effort involves engaging with key players within the European carbon trading industry.
In London, I've been meeting Shell. We can collaborate with the oil company as far as the development of CCS is concerned. And what is important is at the moment there is no clear protocol in terms of how you export or import carbon, store carbon in our territory.
He told this to reporters during the official Sarawak government delegation's visit to Bergen, Norway on Wednesday.
Premier of Sarawak, Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, announced that the state government will be examining effective methods of imposing tax on carbon emissions, following the United Nations footsteps in listing carbon as one of its commodities.
I think the United Nations has categorized carbon as a commodity. If that is the case, then it's just like any commodity that we trade. How carbon is treated and become a commodity for trading. So the next thing for any government, we are exploring how to tax them.
Abang Johari said this during a dinner event hosted by Petroleum Sarawak Berhad Petras in Bergen, Norway. He added that his trip to Norway has yielded comprehensive insights into the intricacies of carbon management as a tradable commodity. As part of his journey, he conducted technical tours of notable facilities, including the Carbon Capture and Storage CCS Northern Lights and the Technology Center Mongstad. The tours were aimed at acquiring a comprehensive understanding of the infrastructure and technologies employed by key players in the CCS industry within the country.
Sarawak is seen as a pioneer of green innovation as well as a more efficient economy through continuous efforts at mastering carbon trading know-how. A senior lecturer of political economy at University Technology Mara, UiTM Sabah, Dr. Firdausi Sufyan, described the Sarawak Premier's visit to Norway as placing Sarawak in the vanguard of achieving zero emission and spearheading a green economy.
Kebaikan dia ni banyak lagi kalau kita lihat dari segi memberi kebaikan dia ni, dia juga memberi insentif kepada syarikat agar lebih inovatif, terutamanya dari segi mengurangkan carbon trade. Yalah, sebab carbon trading ni kan dia ada cap dan juga trade system, berapa banyak yang you boleh mengeluarkan carbon tersebut.
He added, industry players and companies will be more innovative in terms of their own approaches, including looking at the use of modern technology, which could indirectly bring investment opportunities.
Dan penggunaan teknologi ini pula memerlukan investment. Di sini yang akan membawa limpahan ekonomi tersebut, ya. Dan sudah tentu satu lagi yang paling penting kalau kita lihat antara kebaikan carbon emission ini, ianya membuka ruang perdagangan yang lebih luas, kolaborasi dengan bukan sahaja di ASEAN, ya, tetapi kepada dunia. Sebab apabila kita ingin mengurangkan carbon emission dan sebab dia mempunyai sistem-sistem tertentu.
Sarawak, he said, is once again an exemplary state in its efforts to expand the carbon trading industry, thus supporting the national policy not only in the Madani Economy Plan, but also in the industry. Dr. Firdausi stressed that it is high time for Malaysia to introduce a carbon trading system to ensure the environmental sustainability in the country.
Residents affected by flooding are advised to move to temporary relocation centers for safety and to prevent untoward incidents. Batu Danau Assemblyman Paulus Palugumbang highlighted that the government, through the Department of Social Welfare (JKM), is providing various facilities and food assistance to flood victims placed in temporary relief centers.
Speaking during the 2023 mock exercise and simulation of Temporary Relocation Centres PPS and Forward Base in the Limbang Division, Paulus said, alongside government agencies, Village Security and Development Committees JKKK also plays a crucial role in dealing with floods in their respective areas.
Dengan adanya simulasi ini, jabatan-jabatan dan agensi dan juga pihak Jawatankuasa Keselamatan Kampung lebih mengetahui mengenai peranan dan tanggungjawab masing-masing. Dan apa yang kita inginkan ialah masyarakat yang dilanda banjir ini, kalau rumahnya ancam air, minta berpindahlah. Maklumlah sekarang ini Sungai Lembang pun banyak buaya. Jadi adalah baiknya mereka berpindah ke pusat pemindahan, kerana di pusat pemindahan itu mereka akan diberi layanan makan, minum yang mencukupi, dan kalau mereka kekal di rumah masing-masing mungkin mereka akan terputus bekalan.
Meanwhile, he explained that disaster training and PPS simulation enhance the readiness of rescue agencies and disaster relief, while also incorporating improvements over time. This program is one of the efforts to adequately prepare all JKM personnel and involved agencies, ensuring more efficient, integrated and efficient operations at the said relief centres.
Along the same lines, Batu Danau Assemblyman Paulus Palugumbang stressed that the reactivation of the rabies issue is a sound decision, with it now being categorized as a disaster with oversight placed under the Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee (SDMC). Placing the rabies outbreak under SDMC's purview will enable a more comprehensive approach to managing the disease through effective monitoring.
He emphasized that all parties, including the community in Limbang, must play a collective role in maintaining Limbang's status as an area still free from the disease. Furthermore, the involvement of the public and pet owners is crucial for effective rabies control.
Dengan berpindahnya tanggungjawab ini, mungkinnya dapat dilaksanakan dengan lebih baik, lebih licin dan lebih teliti. Dan bagi daerah kita di Lembang ini, saya difahamkan bahawa kita masih lagi free daripada wabak rabies ini, dan saya berharap ianya akan kekal seperti sedia kala lah. Dan saya juga berharap pihak yang mempunyai minat untuk melihara anjing, terutamanya anjing lah. Saya berharap mereka ini tidak akan mengimport anak-anak anjing tanpa sijil. Kalau diimport pun memberi arahan dan juga sertifikasi yang dikerjakan oleh Jabatan Veteriner Negeri.
He said this to reporters after the flood simulation program of Temporary Relief Center (PPS) and Forward Base in the Limbang Division in 2023 on Thursday.
Centex Commercial, in collaboration with Jumani Pavilion, will host the first ever Sarawak Heritage Sales Carnival 2023. The carnival is set to be held at its compound starting August 26 and 27, 2023. Now, Shahran Yusri, General Manager of Centex Commercial, said that the carnival will host around 100 entrepreneurs selling nearly 10,000 local products such as handicrafts and traditional delicacies.
Tetapi apa yang kita akan buat, mereka letakkan produk mereka di Centex Commercial, usahawan tidak datanglah yang produk warisan tadi. Jadi kami bantu mereka jual. So about 10,000 products, banyak. Ia merupakan produk warisan Sarawak yang boleh dikategorikan pada dua kategori, iaitu tiga, iaitu produk warisan tekstil, produk warisan craft dan produk warisan makanan.
He told reporters during the Sarawak Heritage Sales Carnival 2023 press conference at Jumani Pavilion earlier today. The carnival's highlights include Karingkam's embroidery class for the public, a Zumba session, and a lucky draw event. Other activities will include permitted car boot sales and a coloring contest for children. The event will start at 8 a.m. and end at 5 p.m. on both dates.
And now we'll be taking a short break. Coming up next, the annual fashion event in Kuala Lumpur paves platform for Sarawakian talents. And in world news, Japan begins release of Fukushima radioactive water into the sea. Right here on TVS Nightline. Stay tuned. Back on TVS Nightline, introducing a fresh new format this year, the Kuala Lumpur Fashion Week KLFW 2023 is back on its 11th edition this year, debuting a total of 50 designers and brands across 7 days. This year, Sarawakian talents and designers embark on their own journey in this prestigious event. To tell us more on the 4th day of KLFW 2023 today, our correspondent Cheryl Shaminato is joining us from Kuala Lumpur. Over to you, Cheryl.
All right, thank you, Radzi. Here with me, Cheryl Shaminato, as we are in the Pavilion KL compound and here to update you on the updates of the prestigious event this year, the Kuala Lumpur Fashion Week, which enters its 4th day today. Now, interestingly, right, Radzi, KLFW 2023 returns for its 11th year this year after celebrating a decade of putting Malaysian designers in the fashion at the forefront. The annual fashion event is taking cues from current trends to reclaim and refocus on its purposes, which is to provide a platform for Malaysian designers. Now, this year as well is not only Malaysian, but also proudly, I would like to announce as well, Sarawakian designers. They have been flown here as well via Air Asia. I myself was also flown here via Air Asia, and across from Sarawak, from Borneo to Kuala Lumpur, they are showcasing their designs that they have for KLFW 2023. Earlier today, we had Sarawakian designer, Sarawakian-born Keith Sim, which showcasing his garments based on minimalism and also sustainability in his theme. Now, Keith has opened his own doors to his brand Keith Sim since 2017, and earlier today he was showcased at the KLFW 2023. Among of those who attended were mostly Sarawakians who were there to give him such a proud achievement to this, and also to clap for him. And we can see that there are tons of other influencers as well from Sarawak who attended the event. Now, also just to update Razi, tomorrow will be Andy Sulaiman, Sarawakian designer, who will be showcasing his showcase, which is very interesting. It will be held at 8 p.m. tomorrow at Aloft KL. Also, we want to highlight that there are 5 Sarawakian models who are showcased in Andy Sulaiman and Keith Sim's wear, who were selected from the 60 people who were casted in the model search, which was collaborated by Style Series earlier in Kuching. Now, this is definitely the big event of the year, and I guess we'll be waiting for more updates. Be sure to stay tuned on TVS's official website at www.tvstv.my, and of course across all other social media platforms, as I'm very excited to tell you what's more. That's all for me. Here with me, Shol Chamacho, and videographer Faitullah Moni for TVS Kuala Lumpur. Over to you, Razi.
Thank you very much, Cheryl Shaminato, for the report from Kuala Lumpur. Now, in other news, it is vital to ensure the younger generation are equipped with good qualifications, especially in today's competitive job market, as was said by Deputy Higher Education Minister Dato' Muhammad Yusof Abdal. Now, as such, efforts to attract youth to further their studies at higher learning institutions, or IPTS, were highlighted in the final report of the committee to review the National Higher Education Policy.
Kalau di peringkat Kementerian Pendidikan Tinggi ini, kita mengadakan kaedah-kaedah, mewujud berbagai kaedah yang boleh membolehkan pelajar-pelajar itu lebih cenderung untuk masuk ke universiti. So, kita berhadapan dengan antara isu ialah ada beberapa pelajar yang kita tidak lagi begitu minat untuk meneruskan pengajian hingga ke peringkat universiti.
He told reporters after attending the Innovation and Technology Exposition 2023 in Tax 23 on Thursday. Expanding on the matter, he said the number of students discontinuing their studies is rising every year, citing the need to enter the workforce as a reason. Hence, the ministry will continue to provide more opportunities in hopes of attracting more students.
Yang kita selalu sarankan bahawa kepentingan terutama KPT ini, kita sediakan berbagai kemudahan pembiayaan ini. PT-PTN kita ada, program sulung kita ada. Semuanya ini adalah bertujuan untuk supaya jangan menjadikan alasan kita tiada kemampuan dari segi kewangan.
Previously, the media reported that about 300,000 SPM graduates chose to enter the workforce instead of pursuing tertiary education.
On the other hand, graduates of University of Malaysia Sarawak UNIMAS recorded a marketability rate of over 90% in the job market this year. Its Vice-Chancellor, Dato' Dr. Muhammad Kadim Suwaidi, said as the employability rate of UNIMAS graduates is now slightly higher than the national average, the graduates should receive a suitable salary and not merely paid the minimum wage.
Kalau kita ukur dengan ataupun kita banding dengan national average ataupun purata kebangsaan, lebih kurang 90%, kita lebih sikit 90%, maka memang kebolehpasaran graduan di UNIMAS agak tinggi. Kalau kita tidak begitu risau dengan perkara itu, oleh kerana sekarang ini tumpuan yang diberikan oleh kementerian adalah sama ada pelajar itu mendapat gaji yang setimpal dengan kelayakan mereka, apa yang kita panggil premium salary, ya, premium salary. Itu yang penting supaya pelajar kita mendapat ganji setimpal ataupun premium salary daripada majikan mereka.
The Association of Sarawak signed a Memorandum of Understanding (MOU) with the University of Technology Sarawak (UTS) for the establishing of training programs for its members and the public. Under the MOU, UTS is to create a 5-day program on marketing strategies with content creation and a 3-day program on mastering the essentials of Adobe Photoshop for business targeted at participants aged 18 to 45 years old. SME President Jordan Ong said the program will be funded through the Sarawak Business Federation Recovery Biz Fund grant received by the association from the state government.
On the other hand, SME will promote the programs to its members and members of other associations under the Sarawak Business Federation as well as the general public and recruit participants for the programs. Meanwhile, UTS Vice-Chancellor Professor Dato Dr. Khairuddin Abdul Hamid said the MOU signifies the fusion of academic pursuit and practical application of knowledge and innovation that holds the promise of bridging the gap between academic excellence and industrial relevance. He believes that this partnership will enhance the quality of the students' education and equip them with the skills needed to excel in the construction sector and beyond.
Welcome back on TVS Nightline, and in world news, Japan on Thursday started releasing treated radioactive water from the damaged Fukushima nuclear power plant into the Pacific Ocean, a divisive move that drew fierce criticism from China as being selfish and irresponsible. This discharge is a key step in a dauntingly long and difficult process of decommissioning the Fukushima Daiichi plant, including the removal of molten fuel after it was destroyed by a tsunami 12 years ago.
The discharge was approved 2 years ago by the Japanese government and green-lighted by the United Nations nuclear watchdog last month. Plant operator Tokyo Electric Power TEPCO said the release began at 1:03 p.m. local time and it had not identified any abnormalities with the seawater pump or surrounding facilities, adding that it would halt operations immediately if any issues arise. Japan has maintained that the water release is safe. However, China reiterated on Thursday its firm opposition to the plan and said the Japanese government had not proved the legitimacy of the water discharge. With around 1,000 steel containers holding the water, TEPCO said it needs to clear space for the removal of the highly dangerous radioactive nuclear fuel and rubble from the wreck reactors. 3 of the reactors at the Fukushima Daiichi facility in the northeastern Japan went into meltdown following a massive earthquake and tsunami that killed around 18,000 people in 2011. Since then, TEPCO has collected 1.34 million cubic meters of contaminated water as it cooled the wreck reactors. TEPCO will carry out 4 releases of the treated water from Thursday up until March 2024. The first discharge will take about 17 days.
And following the water release earlier today, dozens of protesters gathered outside Tokyo Electric Power Company's headquarters in Tokyo hours before it released the treated radioactive water into the Pacific Ocean. Elsewhere in neighboring Hong Kong and South Korea, protesters gathered at the Japanese embassy to protest against the release of radioactive water from the wrecked Fukushima nuclear plant.
The demonstration in Tokyo lasted about an hour, with protesters chanting slogans and demanding that TEPCO keep its promise of storing the water in tanks.
トリチウムだけが問題ではなくて、他の放射性物質も大量に含まれた水です。これを一度流してしまえば、絶対健康被害が起きる。このことを許すことはできません。
廃炉が完了するまでに2051年までかかると言われているのですが、私はその頃28年後なので、今21歳で2051年には49歳できっと子供もいると思うし、もしかしたらあと数年で孫の顔を見るかもしれないっていう中で、次世代に渡せる社会を、安心安全な社会を渡すために後悔しない手段を今選びたいなと思います。
Meanwhile, in South Korea, at least 14 college students were arrested after storming the Japanese embassy in Seoul to protest against Tokyo's release of radioactive water from the Fukushima nuclear plant. In a public address, South Korean Prime Minister Han Duck-soo urged Japan to transparently and responsibly disclose information on its wastewater release from the wrecked Fukushima nuclear power plant for the next 30 years.
이제 중요한 것은 일본이 국제사회에 약속한 대로 철저하게 과학적 기준을 지키고 투명하게 정보를 제공하느냐 하는 것입니다. 우리 정부는 오늘 일본 정부에 대해 앞으로 30여 년간 계속될 방류 과정에서도 투명하고 책임감 있게 정보를 공개하기를 기대하고 또 촉구합니다.
Approved 2 years ago by the Japanese government and green-lighted by the United Nations nuclear watchdog last month, the discharge is a key step in a daunting and lengthy process of decommissioning the Fukushima Daiichi plant, including the removal of molten fuel.
Meanwhile, the Malaysian Ministry of Health MOH, through the Division of Food Safety and Quality, takes seriously the issue of the release of treated radioactive water, which began earlier today. Following the release, MOH, through a statement, announced that the ministry will also conduct level 4 inspections, monitoring at the entry points of the country to guard against high-risk food imports from Japan and screen for radioactive materials.
According to the MOH, based on data from the period of 2022 to June 2023, fish products make up the majority of imports from Japan, followed by fruits, vegetables, and processed food, with a total import value of over 880 million ringgit. For the record, following an explosion at a nuclear plant due to an earthquake in Fukushima in 2011, MOH, through its Food Safety and Quality Division, had begun monitoring food products imported from Japan from the period of May 2011 to April 2012.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head on to our official website at tvstv.my or follow us on our social media platforms. And that's all for TVS Nightline. I'm Razi Ahmad. Thank you for watching and have a good night.